Alright, welcome back everyone. We're up to round 2 of the 5Ds tournament. Sans the first match, which was Rally versus Mikage. The redhead kid from Satellite followed Yusei around in Season 1, and the blue-haired business lady who follows Jack Atlas around for pretty much the entirety of 5Ds. Starting this one off, we've got Kiryu Kessler, or Callan Kessler, if you watched it in English. I'm not 100% sure why they bothered changing his name, because I wouldn't say that Callan's a particularly more common name than Kiryu, but hey ho. Kiryu Kessler versus... Well, I mean, I'm not going to belabor the point. It's the Taiyo team. So as opposed to giving all three of them their own decks, because they literally play the same deck. Like they share identical cards. I just put all of Team Taiyo in as one duelist because, frankly, raw numbers. If you have got like 9 or 10 people, or in this case 3 people, all playing the same deck, you dramatically increase the likelihood of that deck pushing through to the finals. It's part of the reason why, like, if a deck has just freshly released in a card game, you can't actually judge how good it is for at least 2-3 competitive cycles, because everyone will just play that deck, and raw numbers means that it's gonna, yeah. Alright, so we're opening with one of the 2 Infernity launchers. I know that Infernity launcher was technically limited to 1 at this time period, but I don't really have an excuse other than, like, I just don't have an excuse. Okay, Infernity Break hits the board. If anyone's curious what the Team Taiyo thing was, their entire gimmick was playing high defense monsters with Defender's Mind, so that the opponent couldn't attack through, while also burning the opponent. They built up to a big ace monster that requires a level 1 monster to be on the board for 20 turns. Or is it? Yeah, I think it's 20 turns. And unfortunately, because Kiryu has completely filled up his board, front row and back row. Ooh, goddamn. 10,400 attack, 10,400 defense, hand-holding Genie. To be honest, Defender's Mind would go really hard with Super Heavy Summarize if Super Heavy Summarize didn't preclude you playing any spells and traps. No, there's finally a tuner monster in the graveyard, but I think until Taro gets to Sleeping Giant, there's not really any way to use it. Like, Kiryu's kind of locked himself out of a win here. But I have to admit, I absolutely love the artwork of cards like Phantom Hand. Like, I don't know why, but that duelist just goes really hard for some reason. Taro also has a bit of an attack clock going on here, thanks to the fact that there's 2 hand-holding genies. See, I want to have faith in Tara, because I do actually think that he'll win this specific matchup, even over Kiryu. I just don't see the Taiyo deck getting through Jack Atlas when they hit Jack Atlas. Because in order to win this tournament, they'd have to get through Jack Atlas, and any of the Jack Atlases will just decimate him. How big is that hand now? 8-card hand in Infinities. This is not normal. Hey, Vanilla! Oh, it's too bad that my rabbit's not here. And Zushin, the Sleeping Giant, hits the board. If anyone is curious, Zushin's effect is basically that it is unaffected by everything else, and it always has 1,000 more attack points than the opponent's monster. That is a big hand for Infernity. Now we see Infernity Doom Dragon come out. But Coffin Cellar is obviously going to slowly poke at Kiryu's life points here. I mean, if I'm Kiryu in this case, I am Phantom Handing my hand away, using Infernity Necromancer to bring back out Infernity Adventure. I'm going for a second Synchro Monster, more to spare up my hand, like field space than anything. Nah, Infernity Archfiend. That is not the move, mate. But Taro is going to slowly be... not so slowly be taking shots at Kiryu's life points here. We are now up to a 12-card hand in Infinities, which is devastatingly wrong. What are you doing? Okay. Okay, so yeah, no, Kiryu is really cornered here. There is no way for him to get out of the situation. Scrub Force plus Defender's Mind plus Zushin on the board. I'm a little bit sad because Kiryu is probably my favorite character from GX. I really liked his entire ordeal in Satisfaction Town, but the AI, specifically in Tag Force Special, has no idea how to play Infinities at all. When unfortunately for him, even just trying to play defensive and holding things out doesn't really super work here, since he's taking 300 points of damage every turn from Coffin Cellar. I'm also pretty sure with how big his hand is, that to be blunt, he's already lost all his Destiny draws. And even if he didn't, I don't think he's got one that could answer Zushin. You could go into a level 9 here. Yep, level 9. Mistworm? Trishula! Okay, what's Trish hitting? I do not think those were the correct targets for Trish, but I also don't know what you should be. To be honest, actually, I think Mistworm would have been probably the right choice here. Don't draw cards from your deck, Tara. You don't need cards from your deck. You've won. Engine point guard. Oh, that's so mean. Trish is in Kiryu's deck mostly just because the card was heavily associated with Infinities for ages. I'm pretty sure Infinities were part of the reason why Trish got banned. And I'm pretty sure Trish was a large part of the reason why Infinity Launcher and Infinity Barrier got hit so hard. But then, to be honest, in Japan, they really didn't much care about Infinities for a long time. Like, in English, we nuked them from the stratosphere, and we just kept them, like, Arching limited to 1, Launcher limited to 1, Barrier limited to 1, so that the deck was literally unplayable. Terra 1, by the way, I did say that was going to happen. So if you clocked out, that duel's over with, you can come back now. But yeah, in English, we absolutely nuked Infinities from the stratosphere and made sure they were not playable under any condition. Which was just honestly ridiculous and unnecessary. Because as we've seen in the current game, like, hold on, Demak. We're watching Dark Zone and Demak versus who are you versing, dude? Jose. I actually think that's to Demak's advantage. What was I saying? Right, Infinities. I don't know if anyone was like playing Infinity Xyz with me for a while. But even as we entered the like mid to late Xyz era, Infinity's kind of got a renaissance with an Xyz focused deck. And that is when they just nuked Archfiend and the others from the stratosphere and made the deck pretty much completely unplayable, at least in the TCG for years. Meanwhile, in the OCG, they weren't basically unlimited. Infinity Launcher was still at 1, but otherwise they weren't really touched, and they were doing literally nothing in the competitive scene. So we really nuked them for no reason. But alright, back to this duel. Jose has immediately opened up with Granule. Unfortunately, he did take some damage before he got there, but yeah. If anyone doesn't know, Granule's attack points are not based on the other parts of the field, but are based on half your life points. So the more life points Jose has, the stronger Granule is. Actually, you know what? I should also probably mention, just in case anyone's unfamiliar, the Mechlord Emperors that we've got in this game, at least the ones that we're seeing being used by the 3 parts of Aporia, are not the same ones that we see in the real card game. They're based on the anime. So they've got the core part, core gets destroyed, and it summons the 5 parts of Mechlord Emperor to the board. Okay, so we've got a Dark Synchro coming out, but I don't think that's a good idea. Never mind, it is not a Dark Synchro, it is Blue Wolf Lord, Blue Sirius. I forget why I gave that to Demak. Surprised he doesn't just eat it with Granule. But then I'm not sure if he can eat it with Granule. That doesn't stop the win here. The Demak is lost. I said it in the last one. Expect the Lords of Iliasta to decimate specifically within the 5Ds tournament. I'll be very surprised if they do very well outside of it. Next up is Crow versus Fake Jack Atlas. It's an interesting matchup, to be honest with you. I mean, I have to give it to Crow, like, because Crow is just running Black Wings, which is to this day one of like the most consistent decks. Maybe not the strongest deck, but like one of the most easily consistent decks. And to be honest, I can't really think of a time period where Black Wings were completely unviable. Even to this day, I think they're rogue. That said, it is against Assault Mode. Assault Mode has the chance to do something, but the amount of, like, tricky plays that Blackwings have got access to. Big piercing damage. Oh, big piercing damage. Bigger piercing damage. No! You're going to try and swing through with each one individually. Okay. I personally probably would have gone for the... Yeah, that's why. I would have gone for the... Oh god, what is this card? Sirocco the Dawn. Yeah. I probably would have gone for Sirocco the Dawn to just power up Bora and gone for the massive swing. Specifically in case the opponent's got a trap card that stops the direct attack. And Blackwing Dragon. Literally at the end of Crow's first turn, Jack is on 3,100 life points. And a very hurt field. Okay, Elder God Nodin. Oof, why didn't you go for the Tuna Monster? Okay, you at least had a way to get the Tuna Monster out. God. So in case anyone's wondering, Elder God Nodin, level 4 monster, when it is... Ooh, and Scarlet... Ooh! That was actually super important there for Black Sonic. Okay, this is now anyone's game. That happened very quickly. End of Fake Jack's second turn. Crow's board is empty. 4,300 life points versus 2,100 versus 4,300. Ooh, Kalut. No, Vayu, sorry. But even if he destroys the assault mode, normal Red Dragon Archfiend just comes out immediately afterwards. Now this is close. This all comes down to Crow's top deck here. It's face down. That could be really bad or really good. Let's see. It wasn't. So Crow's sort of got... He's got like 3 pseudo mirror forces in his deck. Black Sonic is one of them. I can't remember the name of the card, but it's if the opponent attacks directly while you've got 5 or more Blackwings in your graveyard, destroy all attack position monsters they control. I was really expecting to see him like have a massive comeback there. I'm pretty sure this is a canon duel. Up next is Yusei versus Divine. If they didn't duel, they really should have, considering that Yusei basically took Divine's like abuse target away from him. Wait, no, Divine was right there. Who do I think wins? Probably Yusei. It entirely depends on if Yusei gets to Stardust Dragon. If Yusei hits Stardust Dragon, Divine loses a lot of his momentum. And given that it's Yusei, he's gonna hit his Stardust Dragon. Unless he just dead draws the entire game. We immediately see Level Eater hit the grave. Speaking of. Okay, so he's not going for Armory Arm, which I get. Psychic Nightmare. I do not remember what this thing does. I will say there is a discussion around the cards I gave to Divine. Because I did give him a few Synchro Monsters that were just straight up not his in the anime or manga. but I kind of tried to build him around a Hyper Psychic Blaster Assault Mode deck. Okay, Scrub Raid, we're in for a long duel. What was I saying? Hyper Psychic Blaster. So, Scrub Raid, if you don't know what it does, in the battle phase, send a card to the graveyard, end the battle phase. That's it. Continuous trap card. Goes for basically ever. Yusei just basically can't be killed by battle now, because I don't think Divine has any spell trap card control in his deck. I'm trying to oh, I did give him 3 level leaders. Which is, yeah, no, that was not legal at this time period, but oh well. It's fun. Seven. So that is... Oh, Archer. Plus a draw 1. Plus, you may as well summon back the level leaders, since they are Scrub Raid viable. He did not do it. That was dumb. I did say that the AI is really dumb. Ooh. Beyond that, he didn't use Scrubbed Raid on the first attack, so he's going to take a lot of damage here. That's good game. Yusei loses. Oh my god. And he had such a clean, like, way to get to victory as well. He just needed to summon a level leader and keep abusing Scrubbed Raid. God. That was purely the AI being kind of dumb. Next up, though, is Jack versus Harald. So, Jack Atlas, we know him, we love him, the king, versus Harald, the leader of the Norse gods. Team Ragnarok, but come on, Norse gods. Oh, no, I already had him queued up. Cool. Versus Harald. Alright, let's go. Personally, I'm kind of hoping Jack takes the entire thing, but I'm also painfully aware that Jack could very well just get wiped out right here. With how Jack's deck works, it's either going to hit real hard or it's going to whiff entirely. I cannot pronounce that thing's name for my life. Is yourself? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce half these guys' names. Alright, I guess I have some explaining to do with Endless Decay. TLDR, my favorite Jack Atlas deck used it in Tag Force 6. He gets it in this. Just not much more logic to it. Endless Decay's attack points become equal to what your opponent's life points, half what your opponent's life points are at the time it's summoned. Ooh, and Dark Resonator. Cool. I think Jack just wins this turn. I don't know what Harald's face on is though. March towards Ragnarok. Yeah, Jack wins. Okay, well that was nice, quick, simple. Jack gets through. I'm happy with that. Next up, we've got the last of the Iliasta Emperors, or the Mechlord Emperors, to turn up. It's Lucciano. And if I'm saying that like a prat, I know. So what's weird is that according to the dialogue in 5Ds, you know, Placido is meant to be the weakest of the three of them. I genuinely do not understand how they get that when Lucciano is Lucciano. This is against Sherry and her fusion deck, which is a potential natural counter against Mech Lords because it's fusion, it's not synchros. To be honest, when the Mech Lord Emperors show up and everyone's like, oh my god, we can't use our synchro monsters. How could we ever win? We're going to lose. I was so angry because literally in the first season, Jack is using fusion monsters. And then Sherry is using fusion monsters. And then Yusei has fusion monsters. Alright, so No Nut Joanne comes out. Honestly, it's probably for the best that the Eclipse card got bounced to the hand there for Sherry. I will say though, to kind of emphasize that like Placido is meant to be the weakest of them. Lucciano has a Solidarity deck set up. What are you doing? That is a depressingly small mage power. I know what was I saying. Yeah, so Solidarity on Luciano's deck basically takes skill from 2,200 to 6,200 on its own. So we hit the poly. Unfortunately, you have massively burnt through your crypt spells already. That's not going to do enough here. And that does significantly drop Scale's attack points, so that is a massive advantage. Scale no longer has like a natural way to get through Centaur. Does Solidarity hit the board? It's kind of funny to watch the core actually do damage. I kind of wish we'd seen that at least once in the anime so I could visualize it. But alright, so that is Luciano's victory. I'm a little bit sad to see Sherry get taken out there, but there is another version of Sherry in here. Actually, literally in the next duel is the other version of Sherry. Okay, that's actually really fun. And it's genuinely a really fun matchup as well. So it is Dark Sign Akali. You'd expect Kali to be up near the top, but no. Considering that Kali is basically Jack's canon girlfriend in Season 1. Although then she loses her memories, and they kind of massively brought down her involvement in the story. Versus LeBlanc. I know that there were a lot of rumors in the 5Ds era that apparently Kali's voice actor fell into a cult, which is why they had to step down how present she was in the story. To be clear, I have got no idea how like actually true that is, but it genuinely would not surprise me. It just is really funny after Season 1. But yeah, if you can't tell, this is based on Sherry's deck that she used in Season 4. Yeah, I think it was Season 4. Which was the Calder Zone / I think it's like Hellgate or something. Need to think that through. Anyway, basically field spells that destroy all the cards on the field. Well, not all the cards, like destroy monsters as they're summoned. And a deck that is based around, you know, effects that occur when your monster is destroyed by a card effect. To be honest, this Sherry deck is a massive problem and has caused a lot of issues. And, like, testing. Oh, wow. Huh. So, Kali is going to be affected by Cole, and Sherry is going to be affected by Future Visions just because of, like, turn chaining. Huh. I never really thought about how those two field spells interact, but that makes a lot of sense, actually. Fortune Lady Light gets destroyed by a Cull, which then lets her summon Dark, I'm guessing, or Earth. Wait, hold on. I thought when you are removed from the field by a card effect, you went off. Or is it because it's... Oh, it misses timing. Ooh, that really hurts Kali here. I will say, if you were picking favorites to win this entire tournament, I would actually say this LeBlanc deck is one of the ones that you should consider. To be honest, shy of Yusei and Stardust Dragon, there's not a lot of people in this tournament that can deal with it, and Yusei and Stardust Dragon are already out. No idea what that face turn is. Okay, so it's a trap card that's... Oh, Cursed Prison. Okay. That does stall out the turn. And Earthbound God Aslapisku, if that can hit the board, that is actually nearly a win for Kali. And then Needle Sealing hits. Oh, God. And out comes Supply Squad. Luckily, Future Visions is actually doing a lot of hard work here. You're going to return Aslapisku to the deck. Damn it. I was hoping you'd keep it in the graveyard. Okay, so fortunately the light hits, but still misses timing. Oh, no, it doesn't. Because it wasn't normal summon, so Future Visions won't try to react. Okay, so Kali has a chance. It's kind of small, but it is a chance. Kinkabio goes back to the hands. Which means that next turn you can summon Kinkabio, bring out Light. Ooh. Bird hits. Bird's effect procs. I don't know what that thing does when it's destroyed by battle. Well, destroyed by card effect. What do you do? Target one level 4 I think you just steal a card from the opponent's graveyard. Come on, Kali, you got this. Yes! Come on! It all comes down to what Sherry's face down is. 300 life points in Dream. Oh no! Oh god. Sorcerer de Fleur. Stealing the bird. How does that interact? Because when bird is destroyed, it destroys everything on the opponent's field and then does damage. Oh! Oh, that ending. Oh, wow. Okay. I had so many rulings questions coming up, and they all got answered rapid fire. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, damn. I really enjoyed that one. Next up is Dark Signer Misty versus Fake Jack. That was a good duel. Yeah. Sorry, just give me a second. Misty. That was really fun. That might be one of my favorite duels so far. Versus Fake Jack, right? Not Yusei, Fake Jack. If anyone is wondering, there is a Assault Mode Yusei deck I made. It is not being used in this tournament. It will probably turn up in the Champions tournament because that thing is a nightmare. Oh no, it's King Atlas, not Fake Atlas. Because Jack genuinely goes by the King in the manga, so I just called the deck King Atlas. There are layers. I really wish we had more of Jack's manga cards in this game, though. I will say that. Again, if Konami wanted my money for free, they just have to make a new Tag Force. I'm not even that big of a Yu-Gi-Oh fan in the modern format, and I would buy that day one. I'd probably buy that on multiple consoles day one. I suppose you didn't take control of Stitching. Oh no, you wanted the free draw. That was a huge waste. But I guess if you don't want the opponent to get any draw. Please swap Stitching and Street Patrol to defense position. It is crucially important to your survival. Sudden Breaker. Oh, one of the other things is I tried to make sure that all the Dark Signers had different field spells. There weren't a lot of field spell options in this game, unfortunately. So you get some like odd ones like Summon Breaker and I'm trying to think what the other awkward one was. There's one other that was really awkward. I could have just given them all Mausoleum with the Colosseum, but just felt boring. Okay, so we might see the big reptilian come out here. Or the lizard. Lizard? Lizard. So unfortunately, Jack's kind of locked himself out of the easy comeback. Just because Jack's, like, Manga Jack's deck is actually probably one of the few decks that actually has a really strong answer to Earthbound Gods and Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, which just block the entire board. But Dark Highlander stops all Synchro Summons. And that's game. It's too bad he didn't get Dark World Shackles or anything to hit the Earthbound God with, but he did burn those earlier on. Thinking about it, he had a lot of answers to the Earthbound Gods, but he just didn't get any of them. Next up is Dark Signer Kiryu versus Placido. Probably give that to Placido. But then I don't know, because Kiryu is the one that I actually gave Mausoleum of the Emperor to. So I got the Dark Signer Kiryu versus Placido. There you are. I will say, Infinities are probably one of the actual worst Earthbound God decks that you could run. Purely because the entire thing is about nuking your hand. Like, even before we got into, like, the modern era of hand traps. Yeah. Not sure why you set Dark Archetype. Dark Archetype is one of those cards that it's just... It goes so hard when it's just left in attack position. Okay, there's the Earthbound card in the graveyard. Now you're just missing the field spell. And then we'll probably see Call of the Haunted. Oh, you actually got to know cards on hand. Genuinely really rare for the AI to willingly do that to itself. Okay, so Zangan will prot, that's core to hand. Why Archetype? I'm very confused. What is happening? Okay. Graphics, board. You're gonna fill up your hand easy enough, that's fine, but... Why aren't you grabbing core? If I sound confused, I am. Normally the AI is really aggressive about grabbing core. There's core. Like, it will be the first thing it grabs every single time, unless he already had, like, all 3 copies of core in the hand. But I would have expected him to be doing something with them. I don't know, this has been a weird duel. Although we did just see the second copy of core get thrown away. Ooh. Ooh, Ghost of a Grudge. Incredibly good in this specific matchup. For the sake of reducing damage, I get bringing out the Sangan there. What are you doing? Needle Sealing, okay. Then you get to draw 2 plus the Sangan. Mystic Plasma hits. Face-down card. I think this is Kiryu's game to lose. Infinity Dwarf. Oh, what a funny card. And Twin Vortex. Alright, MechLord Emperor Weisel comes out. And Weisel Carrier. That is... Oh yeah, that's easily enough. Why would you... Cool. Placido takes the win, I think. Depends on the face downs. Never mind. Okay. Plus, there is a field spell on the board now. So all he really needs is a Call of the Haunted, Monster Reborn. Call of the Haunted. Can you swing for game? This is really close. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Wow. Again. Damn. Whew. Dang. All because Placido used a field spell. Dang. Next up is Yeager versus Mukuro. I do not remember Mukuro's English name. I know he is the flaming hot zombie dude, if that helps anyone. And Yeager is the clown. I don't remember Yeager's English name either. I have to admit, Yeager in specific is one that I'm like, his deck just, I just like his deck. His deck is just fun. I think his name's Yeager, the way it's spelled. I watched it in Japanese, but that does not mean they pronounce his name right, because quite often they'll give characters English names and then just pronounce them however they want to. What it's worth, I'm pretty sure Mukuro doesn't have zombie work in his deck, but I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I made his deck. Hey, Chariot Pile. I do not remember what Chariot Pile actually does. Once per turn, if your opponent... I'll wait until the turn swaps, and then I can... Okay, so you can just destroy your opponent's direct attacking monster. Cool. Okay. But in the long term, this doesn't go anywhere. If anyone hasn't actually watched this, watched the anime, just so it's not super confusing for everyone, Yeager's deck is based around a level 1 clown. Gains 1,000 attack points for every spell and trap card on your side of the field, while there are no monsters on your opponent's side of the field. He's got a lot of other cards that are just annoying to deal with as well. I think the only time we ever see him properly duel is when he duels Crow in Season 1. I vaguely remember him getting his duel disc out a couple of times after that, but I don't remember the actual duels he's in. So he's using level 1 spellcaster deck, mostly about searching out and getting all the pieces needed to remove the opponent's field from the board and then swing for game. Also copycat, because level 1 spellcaster, that's useful. Mukuro, on the other hand, uses Burning Skull and Hypersonic Rider. I don't actually remember the name of the rest of the cards he uses canonically. He's got Doom Kaiser Dragon. Sorry, Doom. No, it is Doom Kaiser Dragon. He's got Doom Kaiser Dragon here, mostly just because who else were they going to give the card to? And I think he might have Assault mode in his deck, but because he's using a pure zombie deck. Okay, do you have... No. That would be Apprentice Magician, probably. Oh, there's Supersonic Skull Flame. Oh. Tuning Barrier is another one that is primarily going to be helpful. Primarily going to be helpful in the 5Ds tournament. Basically, if your opponent has a tuner on the field or in the graveyard, they cannot attack. I think it lasts for 3 turns. It's basically bad swords. And then Jester Queen just going hard. Jester Queen can attack once for every spell and trap card in your spell and trap card zone. Might actually be game here. And thanks to Apprentice Magician, yeah. Thanks to I'm just like, yeah. We just saw a 3,300 clown attack 5 times. Yeah. Anyway. Thanks to Apprentice Magician setting it face down, you don't actually have to normal special summon it and destroy your own field. Next up is Aporia versus Bruno. I mentioned Aporia a couple of times. If you've not seen 5Ds, basically, where are they? Placido, Lucciano, and Jose, the Lords of Iliasta, are all the same person at different points in time in his life. And that one person is Aporia. Versus Bruno. Spoiler on Bruno's half. Bruno is not a real person. He is in Antinomy's civilian identity so that he can guide Yusei towards Excel Synchro Summoning. They're both members of Yiliasta. So this is technically Yiliasta versus Yiliasta. They just had different means to save the future. Bruno thought that it was possible to save the future by teaching people, while Aporia felt he needed to destroy those responsible for the future he came from. I'll also mention that all of the Lords of Iliasta are technically representative of different aspects of grief, but I'm not going to dive too heavily into that just because, you know, I genuinely think you guys should watch the series yourself. It's genuinely worth it. Make sure you watch it in Japanese with English subtitles, though, because, again, the English dub absolutely demolishes the harsher tones of it. And then beyond that, the English dub does not have the final season. It ends on the circuit being complete. Which also means you don't get the final duel of the show. Getting back into the game, the Mech Lords can no longer... Mech Lord army cards can no longer be destroyed by battle, which heavily advantages Aporia here. Oof. I'm pretty sure that Aporia also has a few copies of the actual Mechlord Emperors in his deck, specifically the anime ones that gain the attack, the total attack of all Skill, Weisel, and Granule monsters on your board. So if he draws into one of those, that thing is going to be a 4,200 attack beat stick just from the Mechlord armies. Okay, so Fortress comes out. Unfortunately, I don't think Fortress is going to do a whole lot here. Might force Aporia into defense position, but... My squad... Let me check. All attack position. Okay, so if he starts swapping things into defense position, they can be destroyed by battle. Which, to be honest, is not necessarily a bad thing for him here. Since Weisel Army is basically a Mystic Commando or Mars Dragon, whichever one you want to use the analog. It gets destroyed at Special Summons Mechlord Army from the deck. Plus, you've got all the supply squads and everything on the field. At this point, I personally just say just let them destroy your monsters. As I said last time, if anyone watching this has any like games that have got a CPU versus CPU mode, let me know. Like, I'm happy to run this for literally any game. I'm just having fun watching the computers beat each other up. What are you up to? Limiter removal, okay. Unfortunately, that is your monsters all blowing themselves up during the end phase, but Supply Squad. Plus, you hard cornered Bruno there. It just, yeah, if Bruno can pull out the 6,800 damage, which isn't even unlikely with Machina. I don't think he has it, though. I think that pushes Bruno back into his corner. Maybe forces his... Sorry, pushes Aporia back into a corner and maybe gives him Destiny Draw. Okay, so Granule comes out. No, that's game. Yeah. That's Bruno's win. Markners take it. A little bit sad to see Markners take it, but Markners were incredibly strong in the 5Ds era. Then we have got the final member of Team Unicorn, Breo, who I'm pretty sure is the one who was constantly compared... No, he wasn't. Andore was... Was it? I'm not sure. One member of Team Unicorn was constantly compared to Yusei, and I can't remember if it's Andore, Breo, or Jean-Luc Picard. I'm not sure if his name's meant to be like Jean, i.e. Jean-Luc Picard, or if it's meant to be Jean. Yeah, so it is Breo versus Bommer. Being honest, I think Bomber maybe takes this. That the burn damage he's able to inflict is incredibly high. And who knows? Okay. I'm not sure I get the okay, you're just tributing that for the other summon reactor. So every time Breo summons, that's 1,600 points of damage. Never mind, it is 800. I think Breo is the one who's constantly compared to Yusei, in that like he's just meant to be an absolute genius. I don't know. I need to rewatch that particular like 3-episode arc of 5Ds. Oh, the Naturia level 10. Oh no, he's not a Naturia monster, is he? Definitely looks like one. Just incredible burn damage, honestly. Why not go for another Phoenix? I mean, doesn't matter. You get the win through burn damage anyway, but... Yeah. Bomber just going hard with his, Machine Pyro fusions. So Bomber goes through. Next up, we have got Lua versus Dragan. Wait, Lua. So we have got the Mothtronics and Powerful Dragon. Versus, I'm pretty sure Thor. Pretty sure Dragon's, yeah, Team Ragnarok. Last member of Team Ragnarok we've got here. If he loses, that is Team Ragnarok. That is Team Ragnarok taken out of the tournament. I'm guessing he has literally no other Morphotronics in his hand then. God, that's such a waste using it. I mean, he got it back, so it's fine, but still. Lua is fighting for dear life. Oh, but he hit the 6 on the die roll. And honestly, there are a lot of good picks there. Much better. Morphotronic Radion at 5,400 attack. Immediately puts Dragan in his Destiny draws. Can we address that Dragan has a weird name? Because his name's not Dragon, it's Dragan. Good dude. I think he just lost, though? Yeah, he did. At least really came close to it. What's sad is I'm pretty sure that's Vanitas. Let me double check. Yeah, that's Vanitas. So very easily could have gone into Thor that turn. And honestly, could have done it there too. Is that game? Yeah, that's game. Oh, that sucks for Dragan. We didn't even get to see his Norse god. To be fair, we didn't get to see Odin either. Alright, so we're up to the penultimate duel of round 2, which is Darksigner Bomber versus Antinomy. And then I'm pretty sure we've got Normal Kali versus Tetsu Trudge. There he is. Bomber versus Antinomy. I personally hope that Antinomy takes the win. To be honest, he probably does. Just thanks to how the Tech Genesis cards work, he's literally got a trap card that is creature swap, but he gets to pick the targets. Like, he is an incredibly unfortunate matchup for the Earthbound Gods, since only one can be on the field, and he can just steal them. Okay. Not sure what the game froze there for a second. Hopefully it doesn't affect the recording. Oh, seems to be good. Okay. I looked away to go check on that, and when I came back, he had a lot of cards on the field, so... Now it comes out the third Komodo? Yeah. Then Synchro Summon? No. Oh. Oh. Sag. Very sad. But you do get the, yeah, Cyber Magician Search. I'm really curious about what exactly I gave Antinomy for his extra deck? I think they're all level 5s. Like, I think it's triple of all the TGs except for Hyper Librarian. And then I gave him 2 generic level 5s to replace the remaining Hyper Librarian, which is why he has Amdaris, but I'm not sure. Alright, so that is Dark Sun and Bomber out, which I very heavily expected. We're up to the last duel of this round, well, of today, and that is Kali versus Tetsu Trudge. This is normal Kali, not Dark Sun Kali. Just so everyone's aware, this is before Fortune Fairies became a real deck. So this is anime Fortune Fairies, which were all vanilla monsters. To be honest with you, pretty much all of the support cards are identical. It's just the vanilla monsters that are different. I have so many questions for both these players right now. Okay, so Heart of the Underdog's out. Just, Solidarity was just so that she has some way. Oh, Colossal Fighter. Wonder why I gave him Colossal Fighter. Probably just for the lols, if I'm being honest with you. Or equally likely is that he actually had it in a previous tag force, and I was like, that's a cool idea, and just threw it in. What was I saying? Alright, but yeah, so there's only actually one... Well, there's 3 copies of, I think it's Philosopher's Stone. No, it's not. Philosopher's Stone Sabbatial is Jaden's card. It's the card that gives the Fortune Fairies 1000 attack each. And Solidarity's in here so that, if she can't draw into it, she at least has some way to make them do damage. Weird fun fact for, real world players. If you use hand destruction during the draw phase and you draw into a normal monster, it actually procs. What is this card called? Heart of the Underdog. Miracle Stone. Okay. I will say that in terms of the actual deck types these two are running, Kali probably fits more into mid-range with some stall elements, as we're seeing here, while Tetsu Trudge is a very aggressive duelist instead. I will say though that Kali is a mid-ranger who is very dependent on her back row, so if she goes up against an aggro duelist who's based around control, she struggles hard. Hey! X-Sabers! And that is a draw 2 off of Heart of the Underdog. I will say that Kali will slowly get out of hand. But unfortunately, Colossal Fighter can't really be properly destroyed by battle. It'll just special summon itself back on loop. So when Kali summons the level 3 Fortune Fairy, a Secret Village of the Spellcasters. Yeah, that's not a... Tetsu is a very good matchup for her here. Because he can just infinitely loop his monster back to the field. It's better than Marshmallow. And unfortunately, because she completely filled up her spell and trap card zone, she can't destroy it by effect. Since her entire main deck are vanilla monsters. Big vanilla monsters, like 4,800 attacks, nothing to sneeze at. But we're going to be here until she deck outs now. I might actually just speed it up. Yeah, let's not have this be the final duel. Let's speed up through it. Completely ruins the music, I will not lie. Okay, and we can slow it back down for what will be the last 2 turns. Again, honestly, Carly's deck is pretty decent when like you're dealing with a beatdown strategy, but just thanks to Colossal, there's no real way to, yeah. Ugh. Yeah, thanks for joining me today as well, though, guys. That does bring today's episode, or today's round, to an end. I'll be back tomorrow with round 3, which hopefully is... Yeah, I mean, to be fair, actually, there were some really good duels today that I really got into, and that I was genuinely shocked about. Hey, Scarred Warrior. One of manga Yusei's cards. And yeah, Tetsu takes the win because Carly kind of spell locked herself. So in round 3, we'll be seeing Rally versus Taiyo. I forgot that Taiyo got there. I actually think that matchup benefits Rally. Then we'll be seeing Jose versus Fake Jack Atlas, Divine versus Jack, Lucciano versus Dark Sign Akali. I think that one benefits Dark Sign Akali because she doesn't use Synchro Monsters really. Darksider Misty versus Yeager. Misty gets that one. Darksider Kiryu versus Bruno. That could swing either way. It's entirely dependent on if Kiryu gets out a Earthbound Immortal. Bomber versus Lua. I think Bomber gets that one because Blaze Phoenix hits hard, but we'll wait and see. And then finishing that up will be Antinomy versus Tetsu, where I'm pretty sure Tetsu's just gonna get decimated. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.